From a police report to a new federal investigation, the death of actress Hayden Panettiere has brought new developments almost every day this week.
The newly released police report on Hayden Panettiere's death is sending shockwaves through Hollywood.
CPR is in progress.
And there were a bunch of people in the halls, frantic, and I had heard something about a collapse.
An emergency call made around midday, the presence of people no one expected, and a mysterious item handed over at the scene. What really happened inside the South Carolina apartment before the actress slipped away forever? The sudden involvement of a federal agency has made the case even more alarming. What dark secret pushed Hayden toward this tragic fate? On August 16, 2026, Hayden Panettiere was found unconscious at Judson Mill Lofts, an apartment complex in Greenville, South Carolina. The address was identified as 701 Easley Bridge Road, where the actress was staying temporarily. The emergency call was placed at 1:51 p.m., initially reporting a case of cardiac arrest. According to the police report, Brian Hickerson and his brother Zach Hickerson were present at the apartment and called 911.
According to police, Panettiere's on-and-off boyfriend Brian Hickerson and his brother Zach were inside the Greenville, South Carolina apartment and called 911.
Both were confirmed to have been with Panettiere when emergency responders were dispatched. Security cameras at the complex also captured all three of them entering and leaving the apartment. When Officer Matthew Bryan arrived at the scene, paramedics and firefighters were performing CPR on Panettiere. The report states that emergency personnel continued resuscitation efforts while police assessed the situation. There were no obvious physical signs at the time that explained the actress's unconscious condition. Resuscitation efforts continued but were unsuccessful. Panettiere was pronounced dead at approximately 2:31:32 p.m., only about 40 minutes after the 911 call. Panettiere was 36 years old and just days away from her 37th birthday. Her death occurred less than a day after she and the people accompanying her had flown from Los Angeles to South Carolina. The report also described the reactions of those present inside the apartment. Zach Hickerson was recorded as being highly emotional, while emergency personnel were performing life-saving measures. Brian Hickerson was reportedly visibly emotional only after Panettiere was pronounced dead. Another detail documented by police was Hickerson handing over a bag of medications. According to him, these were medications Panettiere was taking. The specific list in the released document was partially redacted, so the report does not provide a complete account of all the medications involved. The 911 dispatch audio added another notable detail. During the processing of the emergency call, the word overdose was mentioned along with the information CPR in progress. This indicates that the possibility of an overdose was raised when emergency personnel first received the call, but it does not establish the cause of death. Narcan was also reportedly present at the scene. It is a medication used in suspected opioid overdose cases. The presence of Narcan does not on its own confirm that Panettiere died from opioids or any specific substance. The exact cause still required forensic testing. Police initially found no indication that Panettiere had been the victim of violence inside the apartment. The scene report did not document any clear signs of foul play. This became an important point in the days that followed as authorities continued verifying what had happened before the emergency call. Brian Hickerson's presence at the scene also drew attention because of his long and highly complicated relationship with Panettiere. Panettiere and Hickerson began dating in 2018. Their relationship went through multiple breakups and reconciliations and had previously been connected to serious legal incidents. The death report did not conclude that Hickerson was connected to the cause of death. The information documented by police at the scene primarily concerned Panettiere's condition, the people present the resuscitation efforts, and the items handed over to authorities. What was documented inside the apartment was only the beginning. As the autopsy results and toxicology testing continued to be processed, the investigation began to produce additional developments. The mysterious investigation. On August 17, 2026, one day after Hayden Panettiere's death, investigators in Greenville County conducted an autopsy. Coroner Mike Ellis said no signs of trauma were found that were determined to have contributed to her death. The cause and manner of death had not been determined. A final conclusion was pending toxicology results. According to the coroner's office, the process could take about 8 weeks, and in some cases, up to 3 months. As a result, information mentioned in the 911 call, including the word overdose, was still considered preliminary investigative data rather than a forensic conclusion. Panettiere's remains were released to her family on August 18th, while authorities continued processing the samples and gathering information about her final hours in Greenville. On August 19th, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, or DEA, was confirmed to be involved in the investigation. The development drew attention as the possibility of a connection to controlled substances was being examined. Some U.S. media sources reported that Panettiere's cardiac arrest appeared to be connected to a drug overdose, though that information had not been confirmed by official toxicology results. On August 20th, Brian Hickerson spoke through his attorney Sloan Ellis. The statement said that Panettiere's death remained under investigation and emphasized that police had found no signs of foul play. Hickerson also declined to provide further comment out of respect for the actress's family and the investigation. Hickerson received particular attention because he was one of the people present at the apartment when Panettiere was found unconscious. There was no official information indicating that he had been accused of causing her death. Authorities had also not announced any final determination regarding the responsibility of any individual. As the investigation continued, Panettiere's mother, Leslie Vogel, made comments about the circumstances surrounding her daughter. She referred to a toxic individual whom she believed was connected to problems Hayden had faced before her death. This was a statement from the family, not a finding by investigators. Hayden's father, Skip Panettiere, also asked the public to respect the family's privacy. He paid tribute to his daughter and described her as someone with her own light and a powerful energy. The family did not release additional details about the funeral or burial arrangements. As of August 21st, the official cause of death had not been announced. Toxicology results remained a key factor in completing the case. Information from police, the DEA, the family, and the attorney therefore needed to be viewed within the proper context. The investigation was still ongoing. While the forensic answer remained unresolved, attention shifted to Panettiere's final public appearances when she continued appearing in public to promote her memoir and share personal experiences. These images became some of the final public moments of Hayden Panettiere's life. The final moments. In 2026, the memoir This Is Me, A Reckoning was released on May 19th, becoming the focus of Hayden Panettiere's final public appearances. In the book, the actress directly addressed many personal experiences, her health, motherhood, addiction, and the relationships that had deeply affected her life. On May 26th, Panettiere took part in a panel discussion at the Harmony Gold Theater in West Hollywood to promote the book. This was considered one of her final notable public appearances. Much of the discussion focused on her personal journey and what she wanted to convey through her memoir. At the event, Panettiere spoke about her desire to leave the world a better place. She also discussed human vulnerability and emphasized that strength can come from accepting one's weaknesses rather than hiding them from others. The actress also encouraged the audience to live courageously and face difficult experiences. These remarks aligned with the central themes of the memoir, which focused on her efforts to confront many personal challenges after years in the entertainment industry. Some people who attended the event observed that Panettiere's speech was occasionally slow and slightly slurred. She also became emotional when discussing painful experiences from her past. These were observations from the event, not medical assessments of the actress's health. Panettiere's physical health had also drawn attention earlier. In March 2026, she was seen using crutches at Los Angeles International Airport. The reported cause was a problem involving pinched nerves in her lower back. Eric Orellana, a close friend and Panettiere's hairstylist, had previously spoken about the severe back pain she was experiencing. According to accounts cited by the media, there were times when the pain made it difficult for her to move and left her barely able to use her legs normally. Panettiere herself had also spoken about the condition. She described waking up with a tingling sensation extending from her waist down and fearing that she might become paralyzed. Those comments indicated that physical health problems remained a significant part of her life before her death. These issues existed alongside many of the difficulties Panettiere had publicly addressed in her memoir. A distinction must be made between the health conditions she or people close to her discussed and the cause of death. At that point, no forensic conclusion had established a direct connection between those conditions and her death. In terms of her work, one of Panettiere's final projects was Sleepwalker, released earlier this year. The film was among the projects that marked her return to the screen after a period of relatively limited acting activity. Some people who worked with Panettiere on the project said she moved slowly and appeared quite isolated on set. These observations provide additional context about the final period of her career, but they cannot be considered evidence of her health condition or the cause of her death. Those images quickly brought back the career path that had made Hayden Panettiere a familiar face to millions of viewers. The height of her career. In 2006, Hayden Panettiere became more widely known through Heroes, though she had been acting since childhood. She played Claire Bennett, a high school student with the ability to heal herself. The character quickly became one of the most prominent faces of the series. The line, "Save the cheerleader, save the world," became closely associated with Heroes. Panettiere was only 16 at the time she held a major position in the main cast. The role of Claire gave her access to a large international audience and made her one of Hollywood's most closely watched young actresses. The success of Heroes also brought Panettiere multiple nominations and awards for young performers. She received recognition at the Teen Choice Awards, Saturn Awards, and Young Artist Awards. The success allowed the actress to expand her work across film, television, and other entertainment projects. Before and after Heroes, Panettiere appeared in several films aimed at younger audiences. Notable titles included Remember the Titans, Ice Princess, and Bring It On, All or Nothing. She also provided voice work for projects connected to the Kingdom Hearts video game franchise. In 2011, Panettiere attracted further attention when she played Kirby Reed in Scream 4. The character quickly became popular with audiences because of her strong personality and ability to handle dangerous situations. The role also helped maintain her place in the popular horror franchise. More than a decade later, Panettiere returned as Kirby in Scream 6, released in 2023. This time, the character was introduced as an FBI agent. The return marked one of Panettiere's most notable comebacks after a period of limited acting activity. If Heroes established Panettiere as a television star, Nashville gave her an opportunity to demonstrate a broader range. Beginning in 2012, she played Juliette Barnes, a young country singer with a successful career and a turbulent personal life. Juliette Barnes became one of the central characters in Nashville. Panettiere not only acted in the series, but also performed the songs herself. Some of her songs appeared on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart, expanding the actress's profile into music. The role of Juliette also earned Panettiere 2 Golden Globe nominations. The character shared many similarities with issues the actress had publicly faced in real life, leading her to acknowledge that the line between herself and the character sometimes became difficult to distinguish. Nashville ran for 6 seasons and ended in 2018. During that time, Panettiere became one of the faces most closely associated with the series. The role of Juliet also demonstrated her ability to portray characters with significant internal conflicts, a notable departure from her earlier image as Claire Bennett. Alongside acting, Panettiere's success generated significant income. Some media outlets and celebrity data websites estimated her net worth at approximately $6 to $15 million. These figures are estimates with no publicly available financial report confirming a specific amount. Panettiere once owned property in Hollywood Hills before selling it and later owning a home in Nashville. These real estate transactions also reflected one aspect of the financial side of her career. Panettiere achieved considerable success, but her career did not follow a straight path. After Nashville, she appeared less frequently on screen and devoted more time to personal matters. Her later returns, including Scream 6 and Sleepwalker, still attracted attention from audiences. In the final years of her life, Panettiere remained best known for 3 roles: Claire Bennett in Heroes, Juliet Barnes in Nashville, and Kirby Reed in the Scream franchise. These characters shaped much of her career in television and film. Behind those well-known roles and on-screen successes, though, was a private life marked by years of upheaval that Hayden herself had made public. Tragedy behind the glamour. In 2009, Hayden Panettiere began a relationship with boxer Vladimir Klitschko. They later became engaged and welcomed their daughter, Kaya Evdokia Klitschko, on December 9, 2014. After their separation, they continued to co-parent. After Kaya's birth, Panettiere faced postpartum depression and substance use issues that severely affected her ability to care for her daughter. In 2018, she decided to give Klitschko primary custody. In her memoir, This Is Me, A Reckoning, Panettiere described the decision as one of the hardest choices of her life. She said she wanted to put Kaya's best interests first while undergoing treatment and struggling with serious mental health and addiction issues. Kaya primarily lived with her father in Ukraine, while Panettiere maintained contact through FaceTime and in-person visits. She continued speaking about her love for her daughter and wanted Kaya to understand that the decision came from a desire to protect her, not from abandoning her role as a mother. Panettiere's battle with addiction continued for years. After an emergency C-section and postpartum depression, she acknowledged using alcohol and Klonopin. She entered rehabilitation multiple times, including one stay that lasted about 8 months. She also said her real-life struggles influenced how she viewed Juliet Barnes in Nashville. The character faced addiction and personal crises, creating similarities between the role and Panettiere's own experiences. Another major relationship was with Brian Hickerson. They began dating in 2018, and their relationship went through multiple breakups and reconciliations. Hickerson was arrested several times in connection with allegations of abuse involving Panettiere. In 2019, Hickerson was arrested in Los Angeles in connection with an assault case. He was arrested again in Wyoming in 2020, leading to separate legal proceedings. In April 2021, Hickerson pleaded no contest to 2 felony charges related to the Los Angeles case and was sentenced to 45 days in jail. In a separate Wyoming case, he also pleaded guilty to charges involving domestic violence and witness intimidation. Panettiere later detailed the relationship in her memoir, describing serious incidents of abuse and saying injuries had sometimes kept her from appearing in public for weeks. Hickerson had also publicly acknowledged some past violent behavior. After Panettiere's death, Hickerson's attorney emphasized that the investigation remained ongoing and that police had found no signs of foul play. Hickerson did not comment further on the cause of her death. Another devastating loss was the death of Panettiere's younger brother, Jansen Panettiere. Jansen died on February 19, 2023, in New York, at age 28. His family later said he died from cardiomegaly, or an enlarged heart combined with complications involving the aortic valve. The loss deeply affected Hayden. She spoke about Jansen in interviews and in her memoir describing his death as one of the greatest shocks she had experienced. Shortly before Panettiere's death, Brian Hickerson was still with her. According to the police report, he and his brother Zach were present at the Greenville apartment when the actress was found unconscious. The detail brought their complicated history back into public attention. Hickerson's presence at the scene does not establish him as the cause of her death. Panettiere's official cause of death remains pending toxicology results, and investigators have not reached a final conclusion regarding any individual. Hayden Panettiere's sudden death at 36 has left many questions unanswered. The police report revealed significant details, while the official cause of death still awaits toxicology results and further investigation. Behind the glamour was a successful career alongside personal struggles she openly addressed during the final years of her life. If you want to keep following the untold stories behind famous stars, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next videos.